Good luck. I hope you do get to have your sex sleepover.
Dobbie is snug as a bug in her little house. Hiya dolls, welcome back, and if you are new, hello, my name is Jessie, and today we're going to react to Season 3, Episode 7 of Heartstopper together. We have 2 episodes left of this season, which I am absolutely loving so far. At the end of the last episode, we ended on birdies. Dobbie, you love birdies for a different reason. But we ended on birds flying away in what seemed to be a very healthy therapy session. I'm excited to see what happens next. Let's jump in, but before we do, don't forget to like or dislike if you do not like what you see, but comment down below. Let me know why. Subscribe if you have not yet. We do fun things here. Ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos, and don't forget to check the link down in the description for my Patreon. It is $5 a month. It's only $1.25 a week. It is all of my unedited reactions of everything that we do on YouTube. In addition, more, don't forget to follow us on all social media at @star_chef_productions or JessieDobbie for Twitter. Link is in the description below for the Redbubble and TeePublic pages, where you can find awesome merch that our brother Ray has created for the different reactions that Jay and I do. And as always, these will be fully unedited over on Patreon, as are seasons 1 and 2, and they are edited over on YouTube as well, so go check it out. But without further ado, this is Season 3, Episode 7 of Heartstopper together. I like that title. Together sounds like a positive title. Let's see if we cry.
You're just surfing, baby. You just I lose it all.
We haven't really seen Tara dance.
Nick?
Alright, oh!
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because he's in love. I like the little dance sequence.
Dog cuddles solve everything.
Yeah, this is exactly what I needed. I love my ballet classes, but I've got to get 3 buses to get there.
Well, I could drive you to ballet.
Maybe. Anyway, what's going on with you?
Charlie's been a lot better these days.
And how's Nick doing these days?
Haven't really got much going on.
She asked how he was, and he answered about Charlie.
Well, that's because you've been focused on helping Charlie.
Nope.
I've been focused on Darcy and all their stuff with their mum.
Yep.
Journaling's really beneficial.
He did start trying that, though, right?
Cucumbers
lovely.
and condom.
We both want to take things further, but...
Calm down. It's a good thing we're in sex ed right now. I mean, maybe you'll get some good advice. Or maybe not.
She was just feeling it all night, like you could tell she wanted it, and it got to a point I just thought, why not really?
I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. Gay! Gay!
Condoms not only prevent pregnancy,
The way you guys are so weird.
Don't read my text.
STI.
We had no idea what we were doing. And even after that, we still had a lot to learn about each other. We love each other. And if it's awkward, we can just laugh about it.
Very good advice, Chow. Chlamydia
Actually,
equals
sex ed lesson.
bad.
I don't think I like it anymore.
Why not? Mother and I had a chat.
Should have expected it.
No, you shouldn't.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's hard because it's like she does have a lot of opinions on this subject, obviously, but that's not what the freaking interview was supposed to be about. So now she probably feels like she should have said something.
Oh, have you?
Don't come in! Fuck off!
Sorry.
What the hell don't you knock,
Glad it
David?
wasn't your mum.
Nick looks a little scared. Double pupperty. I love it. Yes.
I'm improving.
She's totally zoned.
Tao Su, artist of goldfish. Do you want to talk about it? Is there anything I could do to make you feel better?
I'm worried about you. Don't worry. I've just decided I'm gonna look after myself and do what I want.
I hope we really start to see that, though. Like, I really want to see Tara start to focus on herself more.
Now everyone knows how much I love you. And how much you love me, more important.
One more day. Do you get it?
Charlie, can I have a quick word
This is
before you go?
giggly.
Campaigning starts in the autumn. I think you should apply.
Really?
I think you could do a lot of good for the kids at this school.
Charlie, there are a lot of younger students who would find it inspiring to see you as head boy. That's all.
I love it. Oh.
Should we get a lunch.
I
Post it on
love the little
Instagram.
cuts
Your
to
followers
when
will
they
love
think
it.
of themselves as kids.
But I was there to talk about my art.
Have you spoken to anyone about it? Tao, maybe?
He would fight the world for me, but
He just,
he
doesn't
just
get
can't
it.
properly understand. We might understand.
Yeah.
You're trying to peek.
Maybe.
It's allowed. We're in love.
Good luck getting Mum to agree to a
Michael!
boyfriend sleepover.
If you and Nick want to have sex, then you'll have sex. You don't need a sleepover to do that.
Okay, if you two don't have any good advice, I'm gonna go upstairs.
My advice is to sneak out.
I hope you do get to have your sex sleepover.
Thank you.
What are you thinking in that head of yours? Oh, he's really gonna make an L short film.
Darcy, wait until everyone's asleep if they're staying over. School is an option.
You had sex at school?
I'm not really the person to ask about sex between guys.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love that friendship has grown into something so great.
Did you get the bus all the way here?
Yep, all three of them.
Why?
Just wanted to see you dancing. You just look so happy when you're dancing. Don't think I would have had the courage to explore being non-binary if it weren't for you.
Non-binary.
I didn't want to overload you with that, job.
It's not a huge deal.
I love that Darcy
Unless you want it to be.
recognized Tara was going through
Just
something.
you.
Obviously, they noticed Tara was going through something, but to be able to gauge, I'm not going to bring it up right now. This changing your relationship with food is a very important thing.
Me and Nick were wondering if I could stay around his one night.
Yes, at some point.
When's that point going to be?
We were thinking soon.
You've been very ill.
Mum, seriously, what are you so worried about? We all love Nick.
If I want to see my boyfriend, then I will. You can't stop me.
Charlie,
Ooh, he's kind of right. You don't give your child a certain sense of freedom, they will act out and find a way to do it instead. With that said, my father said he would rip my door off the hinges if I didn't leave it open when someone was over.
Let's sit down.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Create something that put joy into the world.
Filmmaker
I guess I never
on our
really thought of myself
hands.
as a creative person before that.
I wouldn't change it all.
So important for Elle to see herself in this light.
That's how I see you.
Scared you won't get it.
I'll always try.
Oh, I love them. 26 minutes, it's almost over. Is that far from where they are? I feel like Nick's concerned about that now.
I need a distraction. Yeah. Please don't leave me behind.
Oh, yeah, see, he's worried about what effect that's gonna have on Charlie's mental health.
I'm just sick of everyone treading eggshells around me. Yeah, I've been ill, but that doesn't mean I can't do fun things and be a teenager. You don't think I'm fragile, do you?
No. I think I'm more fragile than you are. I was repressing so much myself before then. Not just my sexuality, but my thoughts and feelings. Basically, I'm just freaking out.
It's a lot. I feel like Charlie always looks at Nick like he's got it all together. Nice that Nick can be vulnerable with him and show him, I have
didn't make any
chaos
sense.
too.
It did. You came here all upset and I made it all about me.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, but I feel
Nick.
like you're the only thing I've been able to think about. Is this okay?
Communication! There's so many good pauses.
I know you've been really down lately.
I want to leave it on that. I just love that shot. There's so many good shots in this episode, but I really like that one. All right, there you have it. Episode 7, Together. We only have one left, so I'm going to try not to think about that and be sad. I'm just going to go over the episode. We start off with montages of Nick and Charlie, and this is mixed with Tara dancing, which we never get to see. And I love that. I love that we started with that because it is her happy place. It is where she feels confident and secure and positive, and it's something that we have not seen from her in this season, right? Smile and just clarity for Tara. Could this be a potential direction that she wants to take in her life? Does she just like to dance and she enjoys it and she wants it in her life? Or could that be something that she wants to do with her life? I mean, she's so focused on grades and colleges and everybody's, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Maybe she doesn't want to do any of that. Maybe she wants to be a dancer. So it'll be interesting to explore that further. I love how her and Nick have gotten so close and have such a wonderful friendship and help each other out in the best ways. I mean, him just being like, I'll drive you, and her being like, no, you don't have to do that, but okay, if you want to. And then them being able to have these little conversations and communication about just their friends and their relationships. And it's really special. The relationship between Nick and Tara is very special. So I love that. I love that he drives her now. It's also something that was, again, her happy place starting to bring stress because she has to take 3 buses to get there. But Nick alleviates that stress because he drives her now. So now it's a positive ride to a positive thing. I just love that. Mr. Ajayi thinks that Charlie would be a good candidate for head boy. And I think he might be right. I think that Charlie stays very neutral. He is very passionate about what he believes in. He cares about everybody and the concerns that they have and what's going on around him. I think that it could definitely be a stressful thing, but everything has a little stress in it. And I think it's something that he would excel in pretty well. But I absolutely freaking love that we have this little team of positivity here with Mr. Ajayi and Mr. Farouk, right? Because Mr. Ajayi has always been a sense of calm and focus for Charlie. But Mr. Farouk now joins in, and him saying, I think there's a lot of young boys, like first-year boys, I think he said, that would love to see you in that position. It would be inspiring. And then to get the cut of baby Farouk at the table, at the desk, looking just lost and scared and confused, and him just kind of dazing off looking at that. It just, oh my God. I can't emphasize enough the amount of care and love and attention that goes into all of these scenes and the dialogue with such short little snippets of things like that. Baby Farouk, it tells so much. It says so much of his journey of where he started and where he's gotten to and what his life is now and what that was like for him. We went over that a little bit in season 2 where he talked to Mr. Ajayi about that. And I just, that just like, it broke my heart but made me feel so hopeful at the same time. Him looking so lost as a child and then just smiling and being so happy now. Thinking like, if I had a Charlie in my grade at that time, like where would I be, or how much further would I have gotten, or not, maybe not so much further, but how much sooner would I have come to the conclusion that I have come to today. I loved that moment. I absolutely loved that moment. The conversation that Elle has with Naomi and Felix about understanding, where she loves Tao. She knows Tao would fight the world for her. I love that she says that. But I don't think he could ever possibly understand. It's true. Because when you have something about yourself that your partner or your friends have never experienced or have never gone through or can't relate to, you feel very alone. And you feel like no matter what I say or how I explain it, they're just not gonna get it because they're not me. They don't go through that thing. And she is right. But I love that Naomi and Felix are like, but we might. And we're here if you need us, and just hold her hand. And then later on saying to Tao, or Tao rather saying to her, I'm going to try though. I know I'll never understand truly 100%, but I will never stop trying to understand. And it's sometimes not necessarily about understanding. It's just about being there to listen too. So this video that he creates for her of all these beautiful moments where she's smiling and she's happy and she's being authentically herself, painting and dancing, and him saying, that's how I see you. It's very important I think for us to remember that it's easy to get into our own heads, to think negative thoughts, to think that, you know, we're not good enough or we're not capable. It's easy to put ourselves down. But the reality of the situation is that's not who we are. We aren't our negatives. We are, you know, confident, and we are passionate, and we are happy a lot of the time. It's just that sometimes the negative can consume you, and seeing yourself through someone else's eyes, like that's always like a quote that people say, right? I wish you could see I wish you could see yourself through my eyes, or see yourself the way that I see you. I think it's important to be reminded of that, and for Tao to remind her of that. Like, this is you. You know, this is you. This is who you are all the time, and this is what I see. It's just, I think it was really a special gift that he gave her. We also have a little filmmaker on our hands, right, Dobbie? Tao's a little filmmaker, and he's doing good. So maybe that could be a direction that he could take and start thinking about. Throughout the whole episode, we have Charlie and Nick feeling very confused about the status of their sexual relationship. We have them making out, David walking in on them. I was surprised by David's reaction, because we know the conversations that David has had with Nick. We know his feelings towards the situation. So for him to just be like, oh, sorry, and walk out, I honestly was expecting David to be like, ew, or something like that, you know, like something gross. But I think maybe the conversation that, can we call it a conversation? What happened, the conversing between them on Christmas, maybe it did have a little bit of an impact on David. You know, again, Nick saying, you have people here that love you, that want to love you, that want to spend time with you and be with you. Like, I'm one of those people. Even after everything that we've been through, I'm your brother. I love you. I think maybe it is starting to hit him a little bit. Like, hey, I'm yearning for this family. There's this sense of family that my father is unable or doesn't want to give me. And I'm neglecting a mother and a brother that has always been there for me and always will be. And if I can learn to accept the fact that we can't have everything that we want, we might not get everything that we want, but just be happy with the things that we do get, and be appreciative of that, might start to change his relationship with Nick. So I hope it does. I was surprised that Nick, I mean, I guess I'm not too surprised after what I just said, but Nick looked a little scared, a little worried. I would be scared if someone ran in on us too. But I think he was almost nervous or scared because he was expecting what I just said I was expecting, for David to be like, ew. And it wasn't like that. So I think it made him feel a little more comfortable too. But we kind of just go back and forth throughout this whole episode of, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And this topic of sleepovers come up. So I really loved the moment with Charlie and his mother being in the kitchen, cooking together. I think that, you know, especially with Charlie's situation of him having all these struggles that he does with food, changing the relationship that you have with food is extremely important. And I remember, you know, seeing something about that, because I've always been, you know, dieting and not dieting, and working out and not working out. I've done that my whole life. And it wasn't until I read or saw something about somebody emphasizing, like, your relationship with food. Change your relationship with food. And it sounds funny, like, your relationship with food, but it's very true. So for Charlie to get into the kitchen and just, like, touch the ingredients and cook and smell the smells and be around it, it changes your view on what you're seeing and how it makes you feel. And I think that to have that moment also with his mom, that special bonding of doing something together, creating something together, and then getting to enjoy it together afterwards is a really positive thing and a positive connection to the food as well. So I loved that whole scene. Again, even though it was so short, I feel like it said so much more than it did with the length of time it was shown. But then we have the conversation after where he asks his mom, hey, I kind of want to sleep over Nick's. And she is not so keen on it. Now, again, as I mentioned in the reaction, when I was 16, all the way up till when I was 18, my father made it very clear that I was to not shut the bedroom door. We've seen this in Charlie's situation too, where Charlie's like bedroom, or his mom was in like what, episode 3 or 4 or something. Charlie, door. I was not to shut my bedroom door. If I ever had company over, if I did, he would rip it off the hinges. Point taken. I got it. So I never shut my bedroom door. I never honestly ever asked to sleep over a partner's house when I was in high school because I just knew that it wouldn't have been a possibility. But regardless, everybody's different. Everybody's parents are different. I feel like the point that they were trying to make with Charlie's mom isn't so much that she is worried about the sex. She's worried about him relapsing because he says, oh, I can't because I'm mentally ill. And she's like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, but is it? There's a motorcycle outside, sorry. Is that gonna... Sorry, okay, we're just gonna keep rolling with it. It's like, is that the reason though? Is the reason because you are worried about him being mentally ill now, or is it because you're worried about him having sex, or is it both? But the fact of the matter is, what Charlie said, you can't keep me from seeing my boyfriend. I'm gonna see him. There were many, many times when I was in high school where my parents were pretty good, I have to say. They were pretty civil with letting me do certain things, letting me go to certain places. They did say no a lot with certain things, but now that I'm older, I see how fair that was, unfortunately, for younger Jessie at the time. But I feel like there were a lot of situations where a lot of my friends were told, like, no, you can't do this. And they were the most rebellious friends that I had. So you do, have to a certain extent, enforce your parental opinions and do what you think is right for your child and say what you feel to keep them safe. But you also have to keep in mind that if you restrict them too much to a certain extent, they're going to figure out a way to do it anyway, and it's going to be an unsafe way, most likely. If you say, okay, let me talk to Nick's parents. You can sleep over as long as it's not like a busy school day, maybe on a Friday or something like that, then, I'll work with that. But to just say no and not even have a conversation about it is not appropriate, in my opinion. And, you see Charlie went and did it anyway. He immediately ran out of the house and ran to Nick's house. So it's like, I personally would rather know where my child is and what they're doing and have a conversation with them about being safe and being careful and I think that communication is more important than just being like, no, I'm your parent and this is what I say. There are situations where it's really hard. I always remember this one time where I was in high school. I think I was 16, actually. I think I was 16. And I wanted to go to this person's house so bad, and my parents wouldn't let me because I was the only one going. My friends weren't going with me, and it was a boy at the time. And I was like, oh, we're friends, it's fine. And they said, no, you're not going alone. We don't know this kid. If you want him to come over, you can have him come over. And I said, all right, fine. So I was like, my parents said that you have to come over. And he tried to do some things to me. And I said, no, I didn't want to. And he was persistent, fortunately not aggressively so. But the point I'm trying to make is that in that moment, I was like, oh my God, my parents were right. You know, oh my God, like I'm over here being like, this isn't going to happen. They're telling me we're worried it might. And they made the right call in communicating to me and finding a common ground. We're not going to say, no, you can't go. We're not going to say, no, you can't see this person. We're not going to say, no, go sit in your room. We're going to say, no, we don't feel comfortable with you doing this, but you can do this. And thankfully they did, because I don't know what would have happened if I went to the person's house. Maybe the situation would have turned out very differently. So you do have to have a sense of communication and common ground with your kid to see what works best for both of you, and not just say no and have it turn into a fight. I think that Charlie's mom is starting to figure that out. I think that she's getting a little better with it, but we'll have to see moving forward, because we had the argument and he ran out. We saw Michael! I love Michael. Benny, I think it was you mentioned that Michael might be on the autism spectrum. I could totally see that. But I also, Lisa, I think it was you who said that the book is called Solitaire, Tori's spinoff, and there are rumors that Solitaire might be turned into a spinoff from Heartstopper, which I would love, because I love Tori and I really am starting to love Michael, even though we haven't seen much of him. So I will not be reading Solitaire for a little bit, at least. And I love the conversations that we have. It's no longer Tori and Charlie. It's Tori, Charlie, and Michael. A new perspective that is like kind of like a little bit of an icebreaker and a comedic relief, because even though he doesn't mean to be, it's still fun to laugh at and smile and get a difference of opinion in there. That was really fun. I like the conversation that Darcy had with Tara. Darcy being like, I could pick up on something. And I was saying that in the last episode, where I was like, they totally can tell that something's up with Tara. Obviously, you know, she runs away from the circle of friends. Darcy chases after her. She runs out of the tent because she's feeling sick. Darcy follows her. And so it's like, Darcy could tell something's going on with Tara. She doesn't want to talk about it. I'm just going to be attentive and aware of the situation and kind of make her feel safe. And when I feel like it's appropriate, I'll bring it up to her. Or when she feels like it's appropriate, she'll bring it up to me. And I thought it was really cute that she came to see Tara dance, just because I love how you look when you dance. I love how happy it makes you. And they were able to have that conversation. And then again later when they were in Tara's bedroom of like, you know, I'm stressed. I can tell something was going on with you. Yeah, I've been stressed. I'm going to learn to try and focus on myself a little more. So it is there. Like, it is known that it's a thing. They're not like they're oblivious to it. So if need be, they can work on that moving forward. But hopefully Tara starts to just find some clarity. And then last but not least, we have Charlie coming to Nick. And I love the conversation that Nick has with Charlie about coming out. Saying, you know, when I came out as bi, it wasn't just about my sexuality. It was about finding clarity. It was about figuring things out about me and feeling emotions and having thoughts that I was suppressing to a certain extent. You know, not so much in regards to the bisexuality, just all over in general. And I think it's very important to have them point that out, because when you're suppressing a part of yourself, even if it's having to do with your sexuality, you unintentionally start suppressing other things about yourself. And that's quite blatantly what Nick said here. So him being able to really think about himself and focus on himself is important. I like the going back to the beginning where Tara was like, how are you? And he's like, oh, well, Charlie's doing good. Yeah, but how's Nick? You're focusing so much. And she even says, like, I've been doing the same with Darcy, but it's like, I asked how you were. So what's going on in your head? I love my aunt so much. My aunt is one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. And she does that to me all the time where, like, how are you guys doing? How's everybody doing? What's going on in your life? And I'll be like, well, this. And she'll go, okay, how are you, though? How are you? And I'll go, oh, well, and then I'll think about it. But it is very important to take the time for yourself to just focus on what you're, what you're trying to strive for, and block out other things sometimes, and just be you and focus on you. I know that this is going to be difficult for Nick because we saw that he, shut the laptop. He is definitely worried about leaving Charlie. We had a little blackout moment. The darkness came for Nick where it was like all happy and sunshine and then don't leave me. We have a lot of hallucinations with Nick. It's interesting because we had a lot of that with Charlie in season 1. Now we're doing it with Nick in season 2, getting in his head a little bit. And that's definitely going to be an issue moving forward, is where is Nick going to go to college? How far away is it going to be? What is that going to do to Charlie to not have Nick there? Because what does Charlie do every time he feels lost? He runs to Nick, obviously. But if Nick's not there, what's going to happen in that situation? And I'm sure that's on Nick's mind. So, fortunately, we have a little bit of time before that happens. But it is definitely a concern. But regardless, we smooch it up. We smooch it up, we start kissing, and we officially make the decision to, I'm assuming, sleep with each other. And I love the communication about consent. I love, is this okay? Is that okay? Can I do this? Can we do that? I always find it funny when people try to make the conversation of consent look stupid or awkward or uncomfortable. Like, oh, so I'm supposed to kiss this person and be like, is it okay that I keep kissing you? Yeah. Yeah, you are. Actually, like, you don't have to go, so how does that feel? Like, it's what they portrayed and what they showed. Is this okay? Can I do this? When you're comfortable with somebody, when you love somebody, when you care about somebody, that stuff is going to come easy, even if you're nervous about it. Like they said, we could be nervous together. We could be awkward together. You're both nervous. It's okay. So as long as you have that conversation, you're going to feel more comfortable and you're going to feel more okay with what is happening. And if you don't, then you say, no, it's not okay, and you stop. I remember the most attractive thing that Robbie had ever done the first time that we made out was ask me that when we were kissing. Are you okay? Is this okay? Like 2 or 3 times, to the point where I was like, oh, it's making me more attracted to you. That you keep asking that you're actually you're thinking about my safety and my confidence and my comfortableness with the situation. The fact that is even a thought in your mind just shows what kind of a person you are. So I think it's a beautiful thing that they felt like they were ready, that they were able to do this, and I'm very curious to see what the conversation about it is in the next episode. So, I also, the sex ed class is really funny. The cucumbers and the condoms and the chlamydia equals bad. It's just so silly, but it's also a conversation that does need to be had. But I like how Tao almost gave Charlie better advice in the sex ed class than the sex ed teacher did. But it's, again, starting the conversation. That's what's important. So, that was such a good episode, but there's only one left. I'm so sad there's only one episode left. Overall, fantastic episode. I can't wait to see what happens next. And until the next reaction, so long, everyone. Try and make someone smile today. You never know when they might need it next. Bye.